My dear student, this is my 22 lecture in computer programming through C language. The subject code is 1600302. Dear student, this subject code is given by State Board of Technical Education. I am preparing this video lecture based on State Board of Technical Education syllabus for diploma student. So in this 22 video lecture of C programming, I will explain about the basic input-output statement and program. This topic belongs from third unit. The name of the third unit is Introduction to C Language. Now we will see the concept of basic input-output statement and program. The contents of today's video lecture is, first we are going to see input-output statement, then we will see scanf and printf function. Third, I am going to explain getChr function and putChr function, and fourth, I will explain gets function and puts function, and at last I am going to give one example in C programming language to check number is prime or not. Dear student, in this video lecture I am going to cover all these 5 topics one by one. So kindly please give your attention. I need your patience, and this video will definitely clear your input-output statement and this all topics which are available in this contents slide. Now, input-output statement. The word input means to feed some data into computer program. The word input says to feed some data into computer program. In any programming language, input means to enter or to add or to feed some data as per our requirement to the program. That is called input. So C language provides a set of built-in function. Please make a note here. C language provides a set of built-in function to read given input and feed it to the program as per the requirement. So C language gave a built-in function, or it's having a set of built-in functions to read given input and to feed the program as per the requirement. Again, dear student, the word output means to display some data on screen through monitor or print any file through printer as a output device. Again, C programming language provide a set of built-in functions to output required data. That means C programming language having a set of built-in functions which is used for displaying our data on the screen. So these are the basic concept of input and output in C programming language. This last point is very important point. The stereo.h, the full form stereo.h is standard input output header file, is known as a library file. So this means stereo.h means standard input output as a header file known as library file in C that has method for print or input or output. That means standard input output library having two methods in C programming language. And what are the two methods this standard input output header file having? One is called input the data, another one is called output the data through peripheral devices. Now we will see what are the input output functions available in C programming language. So first point says it says here C language is a compound by a collection of library functions. So C language having a collection of library function which includes number of input output functions. So this library functions includes a number of input output functions. Some of the basic input output functions are in C programming language. So what are the basic input output functions? So one is called getChr, putChr. Then gets and puts. So gets is used as an input function and puts is used as a output function. Similarly scanf and printf. So scanf is again used as an input function and printf is again used as a output function. So these are the basic input output functions available in C programming language. We will see this how these functions are working. So first two functions says that means getChr and putChr are used to transfer single characters. Dear student, the first two functions, that is getChr and putChr, are used to transfer single characters. That means these functions are used to transfer single character को transfer करता है. The next function gets and puts is used to output string. So the next function gets and puts, this is again input output function, is used to output string. And the last two functions, that is scanf and printf. So these are the last two functions based on this slide. So these two functions permit the transfer of single character, numerical value and string. So this scanf and printf as a basic input output function permits the transfer of single character, numerical values and string. So these are the basic input output functions available in C programming language. I hope my dear students the concept of input output statements is clear now. Now again I just want to give a clear definition and syntax about the C input. C input means in C programming language, scanf is working as a C input. This is one of the commonly used function to take input from the user. Dear student, scanf is one of the most commonly used input function in C programming language. So a scanf function reads formatted input from the standard input such as keyboards. That means by the help of keyboards we are able to be input the data through scanf function. right? So a scanf function reads the data which is entered by keyboard to the computer. The syntax of the C input is, that means scanf is scanf. This is the exact syntax of the scanf function, where percentage of x is known as a specifier in C programming language. I already explained what do you mean by a specifier in my previous video. A specifier means, suppose we have a 4 data types in C programming language. So integer is one of the data type, so that can be written as int. So a specifier of the integer is percentage d, right? The same way x is representing as the specifier in C programming language. Again, this ampersand sign is used as an address operator in C programming language, and this ampersand signs inform the compiler to change the real value of this variable and store this address in the memory. So these are the exact meaning of the syntax of scanf function. Now we will see C output, that means printf function. In C programming language, we have printf function. This is one of the main important output function in C programming language. So function send formatted output to the screen by using printf. That means this printf function sends formatted output to the screen. So during the program, if you want to see the result on the screen, then by the help of this printf function, we are able to see our output on the screen. So syntax of the printf function is printf x, and here ampersand sign variable of x type. So where percentage x is again known as a specifier in C programming language, whereas ampersand sign is used as a address operator in C programming language, which inform the compiler to change the real value of this variable and store this variable address in the memory. And a specifier inform the compiler that which type of a data type used in a variable. So a specifier inform the compiler which data type we use as a variable, and ampersand sign inform the compiler to change the real value of this variable and store this address in the memory. Now we have character input output. C language provides two functions for character input output, such as getChr and putChr. So getChr and putChr, these are the two functions which we are using in character as a input output. So in a character, input is using getChr function. So in a character, for input we are using getChr function. So we have some points here. In C language, we use getChr as a function to read single character from the keyboard. So by the help of keyboard, this function getChr is going to be read a single character. Second point says that getChr functions return an integer, that is ASCII value of the input character. So ASCII value of the input character can be returned as an integer by using getChr function. Third point says here, getCHR function waits for input till user presses any character. That means this function waits till the user press any character through the input device such as keyboard. It accepts any character as an input. That means this function getCHR function accepts any character as an input. Hence, be cautious while using getCHR. So getCHR is only going to be accept character as an input. As non-printable character like blank space, new lines, tabs, etc. are also considered as a input to getCHR. So please make a note for the last point. Non-printable character. What are the non-printable? Blank space is non-printable, new line is non-printable, tab space is non-printable. So these are the non-printable characters that is considered as a input to getCHR function. Now we will see putCHR function. So as per the putCHR function, we have again 4 points. So first point says that we use putCHR function in C programming language to display our output as a character on monitor. Right? Second point here says that putCHR function takes an integer argument. So putCHR function takes an integer argument. Integer argument को देखता है assign value of character and display its character representation on console. Right? So putCHR function takes an integer argument and display its character representation on console. This integer argument, by using the ascii value, it will be converted into character. Second last point says that this function puts only single character at a time. So putCHR display only single character at a time. Similarly, how getCHR can take only single character at a time. And the last point says that you can use this method in the loop in case you want to display more than one character on the screen. So this method can be used in loop while displaying more than one character on the screen. Now we have gets and puts function. So again we have a two function known as gets and puts. So gets function is used as a standard input that is used as a buffer pointer until either a terminating new line or end of line occurs. Puts function writes the string as str and trailing new line to standard output. So in final, I say that gets and puts function. Gets function is known as a standard input function, which used to read a line from standard input into a buffer point. Similarly, put function is used to write the string that is str and a trail new line to the standard output. So by the help of this small program, I try to give the better explanation or concept or more clear idea about the gets and puts function in C programming language. So see here, I started a program. I use printf and gets. Gets means taking the input from the user. Again printf and puts. Puts means again going to be print to the give the print for the programmer. So these two functions I am using in a C programming language as the input and output functions. Now gets and puts function, some of the basic points under these functions are: first, they help in transforming the string between the computer and standard input output device. So they are going to help to transfer the string between computer and standard input output device. Second point says here only single arguments are accepted by using gets and puts function. Third point, argument must be such that it represents a string value. Fourth point, it may include white space character. White space means blank space character. If gets its used, then enter key has to be pressed for ending the string. That means if you are going to be use gets function, then we have to press the enter key to end the string. The gets and put functions are used to offer simple alternatives of scanf and printf function for reading and displaying. Dear students, I already told you gets and puts are also used as alternatives of scanf and printf function for reading and displaying the data in a computer. Now we are going to see algorithm in C programming language. Dear students, the concept of algorithm already I explained you in my previous video lecture, but here I am giving just brief introduction and the concept of algorithm, how we are using. So algorithm means it's a step-by-step instruction for solving the problem. In other words, we can say that they form the foundation of writing a program. Really, if you want to be write any program, effective program, then we must write algorithm for that program first. Then what are the qualities of good algorithm? So our algorithm must be defined precisely. This is the first point. Second point says that each step in the algorithm should be clear and unambiguous. That means, as per the second point, our each step in the algorithm must be clear without any confusion. Unambiguous means does not carry any confusion. Algorithm should be more effective among any different ways to solve a problem. Second last says that algorithms should not include computer code. That means while writing algorithm, you should not include any computer code. And at the last point, and it is one of the most important point, our algorithm should be program or language independent. So these are the qualities of a good algorithm. Now, flowchart. The concept of flowchart is using to represent or to give the pictorial representation of algorithm. So flowchart is a diagrammatic representation of an algorithm. In other words, we can say that pictorial representation of an algorithm. Flowchart can be helpful for both writing program and explaining the program to the others. So by the help of flowchart, we can easily explain a big program to anyone. So some of the symbols which are using under flowchart in C programming language are given here. So this symbol is used for process. The name of this symbol is process. So that can perform the internal operation of our program. So this symbol, second symbol is used for input output. The name of this symbol is input output. That means by using this symbol, we are able to get the input from the user and also to display the output by using this symbol. Third symbol, it's known as a decision symbol. By using this symbol, we are able to take any decision. Fourth is known as a connector. Fifth again is known as predefined process. And sixth is used as a terminal. And at last is known as 7 is known as flow lines. So these are the basic symbols used in flowchart in our C programming language. So these all symbols having their own identities, own features, and having own meanings in C programming language under flowchart. Now, a simple program I have written for you to just boost up your programming knowledge. So this simple program here I am going to be explain you how to check a given number is prime or not. So we are going to check a given number is a prime or not. So I am writing a here algorithm for that. So first step start the program. Second step to take the number from the user through the input device. So that number can be stored in n. Set flag equal to 0 as initial. I am asking to set flag equal to 0. Then using for loop, and initially I set a variable I equal to 2 and n minus 1. If n mod 1 equal to 0, then set flag equal to 1, break the loop. So this step 5 is a condition. If n mod 1 equal to 0, if that condition is satisfied, then step 6 will be worked out, and step 6 will set flag equal to 1, then we can come out of the loop. If set equal to 0, then we have to print the number is prime, else the number is not prime. This is how our program will work. Now we will see the source code of our program. So this is flowchart. Again, the concept of flowchart explained here. Now I implemented the concept of flowchart here to check whether a given number is a prime or not. So this symbol is used as a start. This symbol is used as a input output, that is called processing. This one is a processing rectangle symbol. So now again decision making symbol. So this is how I use each symbol here for making the program effective by using the concept of flowchart. Now this is our source code. So now program I am using here to check whether number is prime or not. So two header file I used here. One is called standard input output, another one is called conio.h. Now void main function used, clear screen, int I use as a data type. Then we have a flag ni and flag 0 as a data type, as a integer data type. Now printf, now I am asking the user to enter any number. Through the scanf, I consider that number. Now I use as a for loop. Now here I am checking the condition. If n divided by I equal to 0, then flag equal to 1, break. If flag equal to 0, then print the number is prime, as the number is not a prime. So this is how our condition will check and print the number whether it's a prime number or it's a not a prime number. Now I enter 5 as a number by using a keyboard. Now this 5 checked and then given that number is prime. The second example I use, this is the first and this is the second. I enter number 10 and then output is shows that 10 is not a prime number. So this is our output. I hope it's clear for you. Now the summary of my today video lecture. In this video lecture, I hope you understood about the input-output statement more clearly, because in input-output statement, I explained clearly about scanf, printf function, getChr, putChr function, and gets and puts function. So these all functions I explain you clearly under input-output statement. And finally, I explain about a programming. In this video lecture, I explain how to check a number is prime or not by using the concept of algorithm flowchart. I explained this clearly, and I hope this video helps you to know more about the standard input output functions and how our program or source code is working in C programming language. This is my reference. Please go through this reference to acquire more knowledge. I have given books as well as I have given YouTube link. Kindly go through this link to increase your idea about the programming language. Thank you, my dear students. We will meet in our next video lecture. Thank you.